Now, the stock market has grown on Wednesday and it broke through 10,000. There's a chance it may go to 11 before the year's out. There's a chance. Is there a chance it'll pull back?
Yes, sure.
Yes. How much? I've heard a minimum of 10% and I've heard a maximum of 15. Is that okay? Yeah, it's going to happen. There's not a thing we can do about it. So we do what? We ride through it, right? Well, that's when it starts to fall off, people are going to start to panic. They're going to say, oh my gosh, the economy really isn't responding the way it should be. But I'll tell you what, the economy is really starting to, the engine is starting to happen. There's fuel in the tank, it's cranked up and it's moving and it's good. Look at this, corporate third quarter earnings are improving. You're going to, matter of fact, why did the market break 10,000 yesterday? Because what, a half a dozen came out and gave their what? Third quarter report? And it was good, right? Well, what's the fourth quarter going to look like? It's going to be even better. There's already rumors on the street that the amount of corporate profit as a percentage is up over the third quarter, forecasted based on what's occurring. What the issue is in the stock market is all the sweet deals that were out there that people scoffed up, just like on the real estate side, you know, here's this $1 million piece of property for $400,000. Right? The same thing has been true here, is that a lot of the companies that the price to earnings ratio has been very, very attractive. Many of those have been purchased, and so that run in the market has happened, and now that's going to slow down a little bit. Layoffs will continue at a slightly higher rate than new hires for the next quarter. There will be a period next year where the layoffs will be less than the new hires, and we'll start to get a turn on the positive side going back. How long is it going to take to get our unemployment way down? I don't know. I don't have a clue. But that's currently what's going on. Now, consumer confidence varies based on the issue. Confidence in real estate ownership is increasing. Timing is right for us to help the consumer. We need to sell the future starting today. Over time, real estate has always appreciated, but what if it doesn't for a while? It's okay. Remember, there's always been fluctuations in the market over short periods of time. Their needs haven't changed. Some still need to move up. Some need a smaller house. Some want to change neighborhoods. Some want a different school system. Some want to own their own home. Some need a smaller monthly payment due to changes in their income. So if our executives go out and tell the story properly, then we win, because our competition isn't telling it. How many of you have bumped into somebody that owns another company and they're upbeat about what's going on? Can you raise your hand if you have? I don't see any hands. Nobody? No, just, okay, you have a competitor who says things are okay. All right, good. Good, they see what's going on. But that was one hand out of the whole room. Maybe our competition isn't talking the good things that are out there. You know, I had a dear friend of mine, Jackie Simon, who sold real estate back in the early 80s. She was in Washington, D.C. when I was up there. And Jackie was a neat lady. She raced Jaguars when she was younger. I don't mean the animal, I mean the car. Matter of fact, she was great under the hood. She could take one and tune it up to where it worked well. And then she got rheumatoid arthritis and couldn't do that, so she decided to sell real estate. She was at a cocktail party when we were having the worst real estate market that I've ever seen, which is back in 81, 82. She was at a cocktail party and people talking around, what do you do for a living? Some people were insurance, some people were with the government, some people were doing other things. And there was this real estate agent, a fellow, and I can't remember his name or what company he's with, but he said, you know, this is the worst real estate market I've ever seen. I can't believe what's going on. The interest rates are high. Nobody's buying. And then they met Jackie. And Jackie said, I tell you what, I'm selling everything I can get my hands on. This is one of the best markets I've ever seen. We're putting transactions together like you wouldn't believe. Matter of fact, the one last week, we traded a boat in on a piece of property and everybody was happy. So it's what? It's attitude, right? It goes back, and we can win. If we're positive with the consumer out in the marketplace and our competitors are not, they're still giving the oh, woe is me's, I can't handle this. If you are positive and telling your consumers about being positive, the transactions will occur. Who knows a neighborhood better than you do and can provide information on it? What do we do to begin business development posture to tell people in large numbers that it's okay to buy real estate now? I mean, how can we position ourselves to do that? How do we tell large numbers of people that it's okay to buy? You need to think about that. You need to position yourselves in a market where you can do that, where you can tell large numbers of people. And as a beginning, you know, what if we met 5 people per day? And we talked about this, right? And just tell them about what's going on. You know, we can do that. And we can build our business by building relationships. So the reason I moved to your turn is I want to bring it to a point right now and let you brainstorm with me for just a couple minutes. And I've got that. I've got just a couple minutes to where you tell me what we can do to position ourselves in the market to where we don't let the negatives tear us down. But we can leverage this point, which is the positives in the marketplace. What we talked about in that open house was really how great the market is becoming, and it sure is good to see everybody. And we begin to tell the neighbors that it was okay. They may know somebody that is thinking about buying or selling and may reinforce that. Don't know. But at least we were being positive in what we did. Try to just bump into 5 people a day and just tell them, hey, I'm in real estate and I want you to know that it's okay to buy and sell right now. It really is. Matter of fact, the interest rates are the lowest I've ever seen them. And shoot, housing is bottomed and it's not a risk anymore. It's okay to go in and buy. And there might be a great deal out there for you. The next thing you could do to be active in the market is begin building a farm. We used to do that years ago. How many ever built a farm when you started out in the business? Okay, I've got more than 3 hands. That's good. Okay. Some of you did that. Some of you actually began to farm. Well, I know that you can't do it the old-fashioned way, which is pick up the telephone and make calls anymore, but you can get into non-gated neighborhoods, or if you have a friend that lives in a gated neighborhood, you can get inside that gated neighborhood and you can make contact with people and begin to build a relationship, contacting your spheres of influence. When was the last time you made a list of all the people that you know and just over time just called them and say, hey, I just want to remind you, I'm still in real estate. And do you know of anybody that's thinking about buying or selling? Boy, now is the time to do it. I mean, I want to move away from reacting to the market. You know what I say when I say that? Just reacting to where I'm taking 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour a day, and I'm actually starting to build my business back again. And so contacting the spheres of influence can do that. Remind folks that we're still in the business. I mentioned that. In every encounter, ask for an email address and touch them at least monthly. People will give out an email address today where they won't give out a phone number. And yet we're not asking for it. Why don't we just, if we bump into somebody in our marketplace and say, hey, I'm in real estate, my name's Ken Durkee, and I'm with Realty Executives, and by the way, may I give you a business card or 2? Matter of fact, I'd like, Milford, you don't mind, let me give you 2 cards. The reason I'm giving you 2 is that I'd like you to keep one and give one to someone else that might be interested in the business. And everybody's heard me do this where we've done the training. Why 2 cards? They want to throw one away so they get to keep one. They're not going to give it to somebody else. They just want to throw one away. But at least they kept my card, and if they have a need in the business later on, it'll be great. Now let's just run the numbers for a second and see what that'll do for us, for those of you that haven't heard this before. If I can meet 5 people a day and give out times 2, 10 business cards, and I do that 4 days a week, not 5 days a week. Let's say I do that 4 days a week. So that's how many business cards? People. 5 people times 4 is 20 people, right? And I do that for 4 weeks, so that'd be 80 people times 10 months is 800 people. 800 people I've met just grinding it out, a little piece at a time. Takes me, 25 minutes a day to do that. What if 3% of the 800 people have a real estate need? Not half, not a third, not 10%. What if 3% of 800 people have a real estate need and they contact me? That's 24 transactions. And you figure out what your average commission is and multiply that out. The interesting thing is that we're not building business. No matter what the market conditions are, no matter what's out there, we have a tendency to listen to the news and get frozen, and I want you to thaw. The purpose of the next 2 days is to thaw and begin to say, what can I do to step out and build my business and make it stronger? And of course, homebuyer seminars is another way to capture people. And all this little piece of paper is on the right is a way to do the night before you get up, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then, if you say you're going to do it, then maybe the next day you'll do it.